Hello. Fancy seeing you here.
It's the most contested beast of an argument, the GOAT. Our focus classic cinema, from the Philadelphia Story to Sunset Boulevard. This collection is sure to have you waxing nostalgic. With 20 classic films that earned their place in history of television. Sunset Boulevard. An aging silent film queen refuses to accept that her stardom has ended. She hires a young screenwriter to help set up her movie comeback. The screenwriter believes he can manipulate her, but he soon finds out he is wrong.
What you're trying to say is you don't want me to love you. Say it. Say it.
The Kid. Chaplin's first full-length feature is a silent masterpiece about a little tramp who discovers a little orphan and brings him up but is left desolate when the orphanage reclaims him. An American in Paris. Jerry Mulligan, Gene Kelly, is an American ex-GI who stays in post-war Paris to become a painter, and falls for the gamine charms of Lise Bouvier, Leslie Caron. However, his paintings come to the attention of Milo Roberts, a rich American heiress, who is interested in more than just art. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The grim fairy tale gets a Technicolor treatment in Disney's first animated feature. Jealous of Snow White's beauty, the wicked queen orders the murder of her innocent stepdaughter, but later discovers that Snow White is still alive and hiding in a cottage with 7 friendly little miners. All Quiet on the Western Front. At the start of World War I, Paul Baumer, Richard Thomas, is a young German patriot, eager to fight. Indoctrinated with propaganda at school, he and his friends eagerly sign up for the armies soon after graduation. But when the horrors of war soon become too much to bear, Paul questions the sanity of fighting over a few hundreds yards of war-torn countryside. Seven Samurai. A samurai answers a village's request for protection after he falls on hard times. So the samurai gathers 6 others to help him teach the people how to defend themselves. A giant battle occurs when 40 bandits attack the village. The Grand Illusion. A group of French soldiers, including the patrician Captain de Boldieu and the working-class Lieutenant Maréchal, grapple with their own class differences after being captured and held in a World War I German prison camp. When the men are transferred to a high-security fortress, they must concoct a plan to escape beneath the watchful eye of aristocratic German officer von Rauffenstein, who has formed an unexpected bond with de Boldieu. Singin' in the Rain. A spoof of the turmoil that afflicted the movie industry in the late 1920s when movies went from silent to sound. When 2 silent movie stars, Don Lockwood and Lena Lamont, latest movie is made into a musical, a chorus girl is brought in to dub Lena's speaking and singing. Dawn is on top of the world until Lena finds out. A Night at the Opera. The Marx Brothers run amok in the world of opera when Otis B. Driftwood meets aspiring singer Ricardo, who is determined to win the love of fellow performer Rosa. Otis attempts to unite the young couple, but faces opposition from the preening star Lansbury, Walter Wolfe King, who also has his sights on Rosa. Rear Window. A newspaper photographer with a broken leg passes time recuperating by observing his neighbors through his window. He sees what he believes to be a murder, and decides to solve the crime himself. With the help of his nurse and wife, he tries to catch the murderer without being killed himself.
The songwriter, who plays the same melody over.
The Third Man. Set in post-war Vienna, Austria, The Third Man stars Joseph Cotten as Holly Martins, a writer of pulp westerns, who arrives penniless as a guest of his childhood chum Harry Lime, Orson Welles, only to find him dead. Rebecca. Story of a young woman who marries a fascinating widower only to find out that she must live in the shadow of his former wife, Rebecca, who died mysteriously several years earlier. The young wife must come to grips with the terrible secret of her handsome, cold husband. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. At a carnival in Germany, Francis and his friend Alan encounter the crazed Dr. Caligari. The men see Caligari showing off his somnambulist, Cesare, a hypnotized man who the doctor claims can see into the future. Shockingly, Cesare then predicts Alan's death, and by morning his chilling prophecy has come true, making Cesare the prime suspect. The Philadelphia Story. This classic romantic comedy focuses on Tracy Lord, Katharine Hepburn, a Philadelphia socialite who has split from her husband, C.K. Dexter Haven, Cary Grant, due both to his drinking and to her overly demanding nature. As Tracy prepares to wed the wealthy George Kittredge, John Howard, she crosses paths with both Dexter and prying reporter Macaulay Connor, James Stewart. Unclear about her feelings for all three men, Tracy must decide whom she truly loves.
That's all. I'm going for the pale pastel shades now. They're more becoming to me. How about you, Mr. Connor?
All About Eve. Backstage story revolving around aspiring actress Eve Harrington. Tattered and forlorn, Eve shows up in the dressing room of Broadway megastar Margot Channing, telling a melancholy life story to Margot and her friends. Margot takes Eve under her wing, and it appears that Eve is a conniver that uses Margot.
I do not. How do you do?
We've never met. Maybe that's why.
Miss Caswell is an actress.
Casablanca. Rick Blaine, who owns a nightclub in Casablanca, discovers his old flame Ilsa is in town with her husband, Victor Laszlo. Laszlo is a famed rebel, and with Germans on his tail, Ilsa knows Rick can help them get out of the country.
The plane gets safely away.
No, Richard, no. What has happened to you last night?
Last night we said a great many things.
The Wizard of Oz. When a tornado rips through Kansas, Dorothy and her dog, Toto, are whisked away in their house to the magical land of Oz. They follow the yellow brick road toward the Emerald City to meet the wizard, to earn his help getting home.
How do you
Very well, thank you.
do? Oh, I'm not feeling it all.
Citizen Kane. When a reporter is assigned to decipher newspaper magnate Charles Foster Kane's dying words, his investigation gradually reveals the fascinating portrait of a complex man who rose from obscurity to staggering heights. Modern Times. This comedic masterpiece finds the iconic little tramp employed at a state-of-the-art factory where the inescapable machinery completely overwhelms him, and where various mishaps keep getting him sent to prison. In between his various jail stints, he meets and befriends an orphan girl. Both together and apart, they try to contend with the difficulties of modern life, with the tramp working as a waiter and eventually a performer. It Happened One Night. In Frank Capra's acclaimed romantic comedy, spoiled heiress Ellie Andrews impetuously marries the scheming King Wesley, leading her tycoon father to spirit her away on his yacht. After jumping ship, Ellie falls in with cynical newspaper reporter Peter Warren, who offers to help her reunite with her new husband in exchange for an exclusive story. But during their travels, the reporter finds himself falling for the feisty young heiress.
You better go back to your bed.